All right, let's get right into it. We're about to explore the invisible forces that really chain us to our past. And this isn't just about, changing a few habits here and there. No, this is about understanding the fundamental mechanics of your own reality so you can consciously, intentionally create a new one, a brand new future, all by breaking the habit of being your old self. So, to kick things off, we need to get to the very root of the problem. Why do we feel so stuck sometimes? The truth is, most of us are unknowingly living inside an invisible prison, one we built ourselves from the emotional bonds of our past. Now, think about your relationships for a second. It's almost like chemistry. See, when you share experiences with someone, you're also sharing the same emotions. And emotions, they are literally energy in motion. So you're sharing the same energy. Just like atoms bond together to form molecules, we form these incredibly powerful energetic bonds with people, with places, all held together in this invisible field. And the strongest of these bonds? Oh, they're always with people, because that's where the most powerful emotions live. And this is what creates what we can call the old self. It's a personality that actually needs the outside world, the people, the places, just to remember who it is. And this creates this painful gap between who we really are on the inside and the face we show to the world. Our mission, really, is to build a new self, one that's defined from the inside out, totally independent of our environment, and to finally close that gap for good. So, what do you think happens when you actually decide, okay, I'm going to close that gap. I'm going to be my authentic self? Well, you disrupt the whole energetic agreement. Your friends, your family, they've been using you to remember who they are. So when you change, you literally change the energy of that connection. And believe me, they feel it. They might say something like, you're just not the same person anymore. But what they're really saying is, I liked you better the way you were, because that predictable version of you reinforced my own emotional habits. And that pressure to go back to who you were, it can be absolutely crushing. When your new, authentic self becomes too unpredictable for them, the people around you might actually try to push you right back into that old box. There's this powerful story of loved ones who, feeling so threatened by this kind of change, convince the person that they've gone crazy. They take them to a doctor or they get a prescription, and sure enough, that old personality comes right back, numb, smiling, hiding the pain all over again, just to make everyone else feel comfortable. This kind of pressure often makes us look for an easier way out. We feel this void inside, right? And our first instinct is always to try and fix it with something from the outside world. But that's a cycle that is absolutely doomed to fail. So we reach for a new car, a new relationship, a shopping spree, literally anything to fill that emptiness. We're chasing a chemical change. We're trying to use something external to change how we feel internally, just to make that bad feeling, go away. And here's the crazy part. The biology behind this whole cycle, when you get that rush from a purchase or a drink, the receptors on your cells are just flooded with these pleasure chemicals. But if you keep doing it, they get desensitized. They literally just downregulate. So the next time, you need a bigger hit, a more expensive car, a bigger bet, just to feel the same thing. You end up constantly chasing a bigger high just to feel normal, just to escape that void inside. And that, right there, is the trap. This endless chase for pleasure. It doesn't bring you 1 inch closer to real happiness. All it does is widen that gap between who you are and who you're pretending to be. You see, true happiness is an internal state, not some fleeting pleasure you get from the outside world. And when we rely on the outside, we become slaves to our environment, always at the mercy of things we just can't control. So, if external solutions don't work, what does? Well, the answer lies within, and it's actually backed by science. We need the right knowledge, the right map, to navigate our own inner world and create real, lasting change. This is where the real adventure begins. Okay, let's talk about the quantum field. Just imagine for a second, it's like an invisible library that contains every possible reality, every single story you could ever live. Now, here's the key. This field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. Your energy, your state of being, that's your library card. It's what allows you to check out a totally new reality. To change your life, you have to change your energy. Period. So, how do we change our energy? Well, it all comes down to our brainwaves. In our normal, everyday waking state, we're in beta. We're analytical, we're stressed, we're focused on the outside world. But meditation lets us slow those brainwaves down into alpha. That's the state of relaxation and imagination. It's where you can start to literally dream up a new reality. And if you go even deeper, you can reach theta,
the state of deep meditation where you can actually access your subconscious operating system and start rewriting the old programs.
The problem is we spend most of our lives in that high-stress beta state, totally fixated on what the source material calls the big three: our external environment, our body, and time. We're constantly worrying about what's happening around us, how we look and feel, and what we have to do next. As long as we are caught in that survival mode, our attention is locked on the outer world, and we just can't get beyond ourselves to make real, lasting change. And this brings us to the very core of the work, the journey inward. This is where we consciously unlearn the old self and begin to create the new one. This is where you become the hero of your own story. Now, the process sounds complex, but it's actually elegantly simple and so profound. First, through meditation, you become aware of all your unconscious thoughts and feelings. You recognize the old self. Second, you look at these old programs without any judgment, and you just admit that they don't serve you anymore. And third, you consciously surrender them to a higher intelligence. You just let them go, and you feel that weight lift off your shoulders.
Now here's what happens to your past when you do this. When you can observe an old emotion without getting tangled up in it, you sever the emotional charge from that memory. It's like cutting a chain that's been holding you back your whole life. And that memory, it's transformed. It doesn't control you anymore. It becomes wisdom, a source of real strength and understanding.
And the payoff for this is huge. I mean, think about all the energy you use every single day just to maintain that gap, to suppress emotions, to project an image that isn't you. When you finally release those limiting emotions, you liberate an immense amount of energy. That energy, which was once trapped in your past, is now the raw material you can use to build your new future. And for so many people, this release is felt as pure, unadulterated joy. So once you've liberated all that energy, you are no longer defined by your past. Not at all. You are now a true creator, ready to design a new reality from the inside out. The canvas is blank, and you are holding the brush. So you have to ask yourself this fundamental question. With all this newfound freedom and energy, who do I want to become? What thoughts would that ideal self of mine think? How would they act? And most importantly, how would they feel? This right here is where the creative process truly begins. This is where you start to paint your masterpiece. This process involves shifting from those selfish emotions of survival, anger, fear, guilt, to the selfless emotions of creation. Take the story of Pamela. She was totally stuck in a state of victimhood and lack over unpaid child support. But through meditation, she let go of those painful emotions and shifted into a state of pure gratitude and abundance, not just for her, but for everyone involved. And this, right here, is the quantum law in action. By feeling gratitude before her situation changed, she was signaling to the quantum field that her new reality had already happened. And get this, within 3 days of that meditation, she unexpectedly received $22,000, the exact amount she needed and then some, from 2 completely separate, unexpected sources. As you start to do this work, the universe, it'll start to give you feedback. You'll start noticing synchronicities, strange coincidences, new opportunities just appearing out of nowhere. This is the quantum field responding to your new energy, literally showing you that your inner work is creating real, tangible effects in your outer world. And that feedback, it fuels your belief, and it creates this powerful upward spiral of creation. So we end where we began, with a choice. And this isn't just some hypothetical question anymore, it's the most important question you can possibly ask yourself. Your past only exists as long as you keep it alive in this present moment. The power to create a new self, a new destiny, it is available to you, right here, right now. The only thing standing in your way is the habit of being yourself. So, what will you choose? We look forward to seeing you at the next episode of The Last Guru, To Live with Passion, because when the veil falls, trust and surrender reveal that no one is ever alone and never has been.